Hey friends, so I came downstairs very excitedly to buy some food, char kway teow, which is one of my favorite things to eat, and it turns out that the shop is closed. So, and I've been thinking that a while ago I said that I want to make these videos with interesting backdrops, and I thought these flowers were quite pretty, and I thought it would be nice. It would be nice to make a video with this backdrop. And yesterday I was talking about accepting imperfections and kind of letting the mood carry you rather than thinking too much about what you want to say. So I just felt a tinge of frustration and disappointment at realizing that the food that I wanted is not available today here, and I might as well make a video talking, not necessarily about it, but that's the vibe. I'm probably gonna head over that way. I don't know if I'm gonna get the exact same food or if I'll get something else. I guess this is sort of a meditation on flow and on non-conscious decision making and non-conscious presence, being. I don't know what you want to call it, but like the whatever is the opposite of being in your head and scrutinizing your own inner monologue. And I think there is something pleasant and freeing about letting the waves carry you, which is generally something that you can afford to do. We can afford to do more than we think. It depends on the context, right? So it's like, it's what I think usually happens for a lot of people is that, kids are always sort of flowing. They're always sort of just living their lives, running around, spinning in circles. There's a couple of kids over there playing ball and screaming and having fun, which is great, right? And one day people just stop doing that outside of extremely narrow contexts, like, I don't know, a sports bar or some context where it's very much designed to allow you to be that way, or like, getting drunk at a bar or something. Whereas for kids, it's a default state of being. They are kids, so they're always drunk. They're always high, or whatever you want to call it. It's like those statements don't even really matter, or don't really mean anything. Because childhood is psychedelic, right? Childhood is chaotic and wild, and you're spinning in circles and running and screaming. And I think it's beautiful. And I think the question is, how do we maintain that sort of liveliness into adulthood? Because what usually happens, I think, is there's some bad thing that happens, basically, right? There's some outcome, some disappointment, some failure, something unpleasant, and then you feel like, oh, it's your fault, you fucked up, you were too trusting, you were too open, you were too naive, right? A thing happened to me a while ago that I'm going to make a separate video about eventually, is that I basically got cheated out of $20,000 over the years by one of my vendors. His name is Dennis, and my t-shirt company. So I sell t-shirts, and there was this t-shirt reseller, this local vendor. It's called Nice, N-A-I-I-S-E, and they used to be winning awards and getting prizes and media mentions for, oh, what a great local business that supports other local businesses, And what they do is they have this business model that's like based on consignment, which means that what they do is they come to us and they're like, look at our big shiny stores, and we will help you sell your stuff in our stores. We'll take a cut of the money. And so it's like they ask for our products, we give them our products, they sell our products, and then they're supposed to give us our cut of our products, our cut of the sale of our products at the end of the month or the end of the next month. And they just didn't pay, and they didn't pay for months and years, and we kind of stupidly just thought, oh, maybe they have money issues, or they have accounting complications or something. It just never occurred to us that they were literally fucking scamming us. They were robbing us, right? And the lesson that I learned from that is that you shouldn't care what people say, because they'll smile and they'll be, oh, we're just having some issues with our back end, with our accounting, we're hiring very fast, things are changing. Like they'll make all sorts of excuses, but you gotta ignore what people say and pay attention to what they do. And you have to ask yourself, like, Are you willing to do business with someone who doesn't pay you more than 2 or 3 months in a row? Like, the answer should be no. But I kind of got sucked in. And it's like a side project for me and my partner, who we both had our own full-time jobs at the time, and we just weren't paying attention to our finances for our company. I guess we were like, as long as we're not losing money, as long as we don't owe people money, and we're not taking out debt that we can't afford to pay, like, we don't need to worry about it, because that's what we worried about. We worried about going bankrupt, or we worried about owing people money and not being able to pay. So we were kind of, it's kind of a privileged position. We were doing well enough that we didn't notice. I mean, we noticed, but we didn't freak out or worry about the fact that there was this, big sum of money that was not being delivered to us. Because, the production cost, we were basically working for free, right? But like, frame another way, this fucker stole from us. He stole $20,000 from us. And if he had broken into a store and stole an iPhone or a MacBook, or if he just shoplifted, he would be arrested. He would have handcuffs behind his back and so on. But because he used this elaborate business model thing, and he has government awards and all that stuff, he can just be like, oh, we didn't know, and we expanded too fast, and oh, it's because of COVID. He hadn't been paying us for years before COVID, so like a convenient excuse came up, and he kind of leaned into that narrative wise, and the media just sucks up all the feel-good stories, and they buy the bullshit. Man, it's criminal, but it's bureaucratic, so he'll get away with it. I'll probably make a separate video about this asshole, and I will I don't expect him to pay me back, but I will continue to harass and hound him. But I got carried away bitching about some guy. But it's my fault for letting it get that far. I should have, 1 month you don't pay us, okay, pay us next month. Another month you don't pay us, I'm watching you, dude. If you don't pay me again next month, we're not going to give you any more products. What's crazy? We actually pay them to keep our products in their shop, to keep our stocks in their warehouse, in their store, while they were delaying payments on our sales. So it's like, it's so stupid. But yeah, so that's a lesson I've learned. And so I would never allow anybody else to hold my money for more than a couple of months, ever. That said, I still love people. I still love enterprise, small business. I still love small business owners. I still love all of that stuff. And it would be easy for me to get vengeful and upset with human nature itself, right? People are fucked up. People are out to steal my money, and people are out to screw me over. I do still think that sociopaths like Dennis, right, are like a 1 in 100-ish assholes. But the vast majority of people I encounter, I think, are decent people who try to do good, right? Or not do bad. Or they're just bumbling around doing what they can. The point is, you can... What is the point? I guess, yeah, so the point is, you shouldn't allow painful experiences and disappointments to kind of... you shouldn't overcorrect, right? You shouldn't, just because something bad happens, means that you never allow anything bad to happen to you ever again. And so you institute protections that are so intense, such overreaction. You can build a fortress to protect yourself, and that fortress can be indistinguishable from a prison, right? Because what is the safest place on earth? It's like in a maximum security solitary confinement in a prison, right? But what's the point of being that safe if you are isolated from the world, isolated from anything you care about, anything you love, and there's no joy, there's no fun, there's no beauty. And yeah, so disappointments and mistakes are inevitable, but that doesn't mean to prevent them, you should eliminate all hope and all desire and all curiosity, right? Like, you want to live, I want to live with petals for armor, right? With softness and vulnerability, and still you can learn the things. You can learn not to let people fuck you over longer than a certain amount. You can learn to have boundaries and yet still have fun and still have joy, right? It's just you know better, but you don't overcorrect. Done.